Welcome to our new home of live broadcasting, YouTube. How original for us this is, but not for the world. You are up front with Frank Rothstein live on Sky's Crescent Radio. We are now located, as I said, on YouTube. We're trying something a little bit different, playing with different buttons this time. We are still broadcasting, sharing it live to Facebook. And I'm looking at myself on screen. I need a haircut. Other than that, okay, we're in business here. Here we go. Sitting with me as always in her renovated studio, which means she moved the desk from one side to the other, is of course Jade Zabrick. Jade is holed up in her mansion cave in well, she won't tell me where the hell she is, so I can't send her birthday presents, Christmas presents, or anything else. I just have to throw it into the wind and hopefully it lands. But yes, it is Jade Zabrick. And she talks all the time about her band, the Trainwalkers. And you can find out all about them on thetrainwalkers.com. Trainwalkers.com. And you can also ask her anything you want by going to jadezabrick@gmail.com. You can ask me anything you want about me at upfrontfrank@gmail.com. And yes, as we are live on YouTube, we do have live comment. So public service announcement. The world is my property. I tell everybody that. The world is my property. Any noise, anything going on, any comment, everything belongs to me. I will use it. I will talk about it. If you ask me a question, I will address it on the air. If you are rude, I could be rude back. If you're happy, I will be happy back. And if we're both happy, we will both clap our hands. I see there's two people watching right now. That's probably me and Jade. But we're cranking the engine up like in an old car. And well, look at that. There's even like closed captioning on there. So if I use hand gestures, well, there's not much you can do, but you could see me. So okay, there you go. This is sort of a new thing here. Because I'm now staring at my page, waiting for a comment to come in. So that's one thing. But, as the nature of this show, I keep telling people, the nature of this show is I do talk about the news. I do talk about things that are going on in the world, but I try to stay away from the headlines as much as possible. What I do like to do, just picture buying a newspaper and starting around page 7 or 8. Or even page 6, get to the gossip also. But picture things that are going on in the world that not everybody really pays attention to, or it's localized. So if you're saying Montana, you're not always keeping up with what's going on in New York, which is where we are. Political correctness, to an extent, if I must. I won't be outright rude, but an extent if I must. But there are lots of things going on in the world. And wow, I'm looking at myself waving my hands on like a 20-second delay. This is really throwing me off. So if I give anyone the finger, it's like I'm cursing myself. Anyway, so what is going on in the world that needs to be sort of discussed? Well, one thing that I noticed, it is a New York City thing. Our new mayor, Eric Adams, took office with the new year, and he's choosing his staff, and he has chosen his brother to be the head of security. And Mayor Adams has said that it's a unique thing because he is a black mayor and there's threats from white supremacists, and he wants people he could trust. I understand. And he wants his brother around him, who is also a former police officer, a sergeant. And he says he's qualified, and I'm sure he is. What's concerning me about this, and this could be anybody in the office of mayor, is can your brother be objective, neutral, and efficient if you are at risk? If something happens, can the mayor's brother do the job in the proper manner if there's an active threat or someone actually makes a move against the mayor? And that would concern me. Normally, when you hear about public office, especially normally it's talked about saying in the presidency, but they have the nepotism laws and, family getting, Donald Trump made that one famous. But where family in the administration isn't always a good idea. So I'm just wondering, is this a good idea? His name is Bernard Adams. Like I say, he's a former police officer. So yes, he does know the job. He knows the rules of the police. He understands what's going on. But I'm just sort of wondering, yeah, if this may be the best of ideas. Hopefully we don't have to find out. I come to this broadcast on, today it's with tea. I love Darjeeling. I have my water. In case I start tripping over my own tongue, I get to take a drink and reset myself. Jade has been thoroughly instructed that if I start tripping over myself and looking like I'm lagging, she's get to the microphone and yell, "Hey!" And that way we'll know that, okay, that, anyway, so that's what's going on. And we're really trying this new, and I'm hoping things are going smoothly here. Let me check on this page and see what is going on. Well, there is my work table. Look at that, full of all sorts of stuff. Okay, let's see what's behind me. That little spray thing, that's alcohol. There's a T-shirt on top of a few books. A couple of them they're all about boxing. Let's put it that way. This stuff I have to sort through. This, oh, you see this little white patch over here, right here? You can't get plastic bags anymore when you go grocery shopping. Right? No, you can't get. Okay. So what the top now? This one appears to be like on top. Further one. Those are the cloth bags you're now getting in the groceries. So you pack your groceries up, you go home, and whatever. Now, why am I bringing attention to this matter? Because this camera is showing more of the room than I'm used to seeing. You see this little boulder white patch over here? This thing, right? Well, seemingly closer to me. Those are plastic bags. The rule in New York is you cannot get a plastic bag when you go grocery shopping. Saving the planet. Yes, we're saving the planet. Yet there is a rule that you could sell them in bulk. So those are 25 bags for $1. 25 bags for $1, which is far cheaper than if I actually bought garbage bags. So I buy them for garbage. And, since I get 2 packs a day, it's 50 bags a day. I go in whenever I go to the grocery, I grab a couple, sometimes 2-3 times a week, depending on what I'm getting. And we're saving the planet one bag at a time. What is that shiny? Oh, that's a picture. We're saving the planet one bag at a time, but we are also giving me 25 at a time. So I think that that saving is lagging behind damaging if plastic bags are really damaging. I find it funny because if you go to the produce section in any grocery, and let's just say you want to buy an apple, a tomato, an orange, you get to take a bag and you can get one for everything you want to do. So I can conceivably buy 50 oranges, take 50 plastic bags, and there's not a problem. But if I want one at the cash register, that's a problem. I know I've discussed this before, but this is sort of the way it is in New York land. I didn't decide that one. That started all this saving everything started with Mayor Bloomberg, then it went on to Mayor de Blasio. And right now, Mayor Frank is saying I'm buying them 25 at a time. So that is what we're talking about today. Yeah, a lot of odd end little laws I don't agree with. So, but what can you say, right? What can you say? But as I was sitting there getting off the topic, since we were talking about security in the city, the Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg, says his office will not prosecute misdemeanor crime, fare evasion, resisting arrest, prostitution, and other things without accompanying felony charge. So pretty much you can do whatever the hell you want, as long as I guess you're not trying to burn anyone down, anything down, or kill anyone. Don't go plowing into people with your car, but you can do all kinds of small stuff and get away with it because no one's going to prosecute you. which means police probably won't roll up and won't stop and, you know, for a lot of things because they're not going to arrest you for it. Maybe they'll arrest you. If anything, they'll take you in. You'll get a fine, a ticket on site, and then they'll let you go. That'll be the end of it. So this is what's going on. But as I mentioned last week in a story, somebody, well, it was a misdemeanor crime, someone trying to jump the fare in a turnstile at the train station, but screwed up and fell and broke his neck, all to save $2.75. Yep, a big whopping $2.75 cost the kid, some kid, her father. I remember he had a daughter. Well, anyway, yeah, you can get away with a lot now because this is what's going on in Manhattan now. I'm not sure about other cities. I really don't keep up with every last city. But I don't know if this is a good idea. I really don't. I mean, there are some other charges they're going to use. You know, they're trying to figure out the middle ground for what you're going to arrest and what you're going to do with like drug dealers and burglaries and all that. Let's say low-level store robberies. Well, you know what I mean. You want to get prosecuted, there needs to be an if. Welcome to the new administration. We'll see what happens. Check your local listings, I guess. Oh man, what can I say? How is everybody? That's right. We really haven't really spoken too much. We had all these holidays. I know New Year's passed. I'm hoping everyone had a good New Year's. It's been a week, but you know, I didn't get too much email on the subject. I got a couple. A few people had a nice holiday and all. I put a, I got a kick out of it. I put up a big, what they call a boosted ad on Facebook for doing this here on YouTube. And I got a few friends commenting, wishing luck and all that stuff. But there was one guy decided to give me some quick feedback of stupid ad, get yourself a real job. Well, okay, I will. Well, welcome to the world of social media, a place where everybody will say something to you that they would not normally say to you in person. What can you do, right? Oh my, I get a kick out of all this. Okay, what else is going on? The Pope has every now and again, a Pope has to come into a little bit of controversy for saying something, because the Pope is not going to do anything physical to anybody, but the Pope does have a little bit of pull with, you know, with the people who follow, of course. And the Pope has made a statement that couples who have pets instead of kids are selfish. Yeah, I even know this Pope Francis was 85. I haven't kept up. Yeah, he was talking a little while back, and he's describing it as a form of selfishness, that you are willing to care for animals, you know, dogs, cats, birds, but you're not willing to have children. And if you cannot have children for physical reasons, if the mother cannot have children, then people should adopt. But not everybody wants children. Not everybody wants to adopt children. You know, that's a very itchy, you know, touchy subject. You know, it's sensitive. It's you know, depending on the people. Certainly, I don't think people who do not want to by choice to have children of their own should automatically by default want to go out and adopt. I know people who have adopted. That works for them. That's great. Family looks happy. That's fantastic. But I don't think condemning people who opt to not have children is the answer to anything. I think that's I hate to say it. I mean, I think that's a selfish statement to make. You know, I just do. I know it's wrong. It's the Pope saying it. I know I can't say that, but we're talking about somebody who chose a lifestyle that forbids, you know, something like that. The Pope no matter when he becomes first a priest, is not going to have children. So, okay, fine. But condemning others, again, that's a choice. But condemning others for their choices in a matter like this, maybe people don't think they would be good parents. They don't want to take a chance. Maybe it's a matter of finances. Maybe it is a matter of health. Maybe it is that the parents aren't healthy enough to have children, nor do they consider themselves healthy enough to go and adopt a child. Child's a child, babies are babies. They're all, they're the same age, whether you have one yourself or you adopt a newborn or a year-old kid. That's a lot. And I'm not sure that the Pope said the right thing when he referred to it as selfish. I really don't. But that's just my opinion. I understand how people do view the Pope, but you know, I take it as a matter of choice. That's just how I normally see it. Well, checking on the YouTube page, still seeing what's going on. Okay, Jade's not watching me anymore. I know I'm watching me. Let's what's going on? Let's shift gears a little bit. There is a class action suit in New Jersey. The fans are suing the New York Jets and the New York Giants, demanding that they leave New Jersey. And the reason is, well, they're playing at the Meadowlands Arena. They're not playing. They're playing in the Meadowlands. They're playing in New Jersey. They're not a New York team. They're at the MetLife Stadium. So the fans have a class action suit, a $6 billion Manhattan federal court lawsuit filed this week, demanded the two teams with a combined record of 8-24, and 1 week left, another lost season. So this story is a week old. Abandon their shared Meadowlands home and return to the Big Apple. Well, there you go. The good people of New Jersey filed the case in Manhattan. Why didn't they file it in New Jersey? More than likely, if the Jets, the Giants had any kind of a reasonable hope of being a decent team, they wouldn't file it. They wouldn't file anything. Just their receipts for season tickets. And this story just broke right after last week's game when the Jets blew it against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and allowed Tom Brady to march down the field 94 yards for a game-winning touchdown. They just blew it with like 2 minutes and 28 seconds to go. So next day I see in the newspaper, lawsuit, or a few days later, lawsuit. I thought it was funny. But that is what's going on in the world of fans. They're suing the teams. I don't blame them. That's actually, I don't know if that's better or as bad as when years ago the New York Knicks fans, they were so bad, the fans would show up to Madison Square Garden wearing paper bags over their head, so you wouldn't know who they are. Like the unknown fans, big grocery bags with little holes on their face. That was actually one of my favorites. I always liked that one. This is interesting. Can the people sue two professional sports teams to get them to leave? Now, this is interesting because a long while ago, the New York Giants won the Super Bowl. I forgot if it was 1990 or 1990, whatever it was. They won a Super Bowl. No, it was later than 1990. And the then former mayor, Ed Koch, the Giants were going to get a ticker tape parade in Manhattan with a cleanup cost of over $1 million. Everyone drops confetti out the window, and tons of people line Broadway all the way down to to the court, to the courts, the whole route of the parade, down the avenues and all that. And then Ed Koch, the former mayor of New York, said, I think they absolutely deserve a ticker tape parade, and they should have one in New Jersey because that's where they were playing. So this is an interesting thing. This is an interesting, yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. I'd love to sit in the jury for this one. Oh man, this is what goes on in the world. That's why I don't read any serious stuff, because I try not to anyway, because it is just so bad. Let's get to something really serious before. This is something, I don't know how this happens, but it did. Um, I gotta get okay. You remember a while back the Boston Marathon that was bombed, brothers that bombed the Samara brothers. The one they caught, one died in the chase. The other one they caught, Zarkar Samayev. Yeah, Samayev. I guess I'm getting right. Samayev. He was issued a $1,400 COVID-19 stimulus check. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but there it was. He received a $1,400 stimulus check. Um, as did a lot of other inmates. Yeah, a lot of people did receive it. I'm not quite sure how that happens. It's held in a trust account to help pay his check will be held in the trust account to help pay the millions of dollars he is ordered to pay his victims. Well, I don't know what 1,400 is going to do. I don't know where the other inmates keep their money when they receive something like this. But I don't understand how he even got this in the first place. So this is what happened. He received it. Now they wanted to put it towards the fund to pay the millions of dollars. Is he expected to get more checks or more money to even come close? Wow. I would rather see him put it. I'd rather see I'd rather see the state get it that pays to house this guy. He already got off at death. Well, this is how the country works. I'm not quite sure how that happens, but that's how it went. And what was he actually ordered to pay at the time? Let me see. He was ordered to pay in 2016 $3,000 special assessment and more than $101 million in criminal restitution. So far, he's paid a little more than $2,200, $2,200. So I don't know where the rest of the money's coming from. It's going to go into some trust account. I'm sure it's an interest-bearing account that'll get a couple of dollars every month. But I'm not quite sure how this works out and why this guy would be issued a check. I just don't get it. Well, we shall see what happens. All right, we're going to start shifting gear again. What's in the New York Post today? I love the New York Post. The fonts read out so well on my computer, and when I have to print something, perfect. What is going on in the world today? A transgender man gave birth after a one-night stand while transitioning. You got that? Transgender man gives birth after one-night stand while transitioning. Yeah, okay. Ash Patrick Shade, he's 28, was 2 years into his transition when he became pregnant in February of 2020 following a date with a man on Grindr, despite the fact the healthcare worker and PhD student was taking male hormone blockers at the time. Well, now, cute baby. I guess that sets recognition back a little bit. Okay, so trans man is now trans mom. And that's what's going on. That's what's going on in that story. Wow, he carried big, and this is someone I'm sure it was not expected, but yeah. Says a month into pregnancy, Shade met his current husband, Jordan. 8 months later, Roan, okay, were born in 2020. Now the pair raising the child together with the support of friends, trans community, and the Satanic Temple Church, which he is a member. Got it? Satanic Temple Church. This baby is in trouble automatically. Something that they're going to probably attach, I don't know, like Rosemary's baby. That'll be it. Okay, then. Okay, then. There is that story. Satanic Church. There you go. This is the nature of the show, people. Any kind of a crazy story, I will read it. Some of them are good. Some of them are funny. Some are sad. Some are dead serious. But there's always something to talk about. And these are all things that do not make the headlines. But this is what goes on in the world. Make no mistake about it. You can leave a comment. The comments are live on YouTube. The comments are on Facebook, on the Upfront with Frank Rothstein Facebook page, on the Skies Crescent Radio Facebook page. You can find us in a lot of places. What is this here? Oh yeah, that overused expression, supply chain. Sometimes it hits home. Let me tell you something. Sometimes it hits home, being a nice little Jewish kid from Brooklyn that I am. Well, we all know that don't get a lot of things, like some can't get aspirins, or other things, toilet paper, paper towel. Latest was cream cheese. We all know about this. Well, this one here, damn, a Rochester deli had to pull pastrami off the menu because of the supply chain. Yes. Rochester Deli announced Monday that they've been forced to remove pastrami brisket sandwich from their menu due to supply chain issues. And this is so sad. They also own Periwinkle Bakery on Broadway. It was a difficult decision to say, oh man, but it had to be made due to increased food costs and supply chain issues that continued to prevail as a result of COVID-19. Well, pastrami is expensive. Anywhere you go, pastrami is like $38 a pound, $38 a pound, depending on where you're going. Could be more in other places. This is really, next they'll go corned beef. What'll I do when it hits Manhattan? I mean, I won't be able to go to Katz's Deli. I won't be able to go to Katz's Deli and get my corned beef pastrami sandwich. I'll be ruined. This is so terrible. Well, we'll see how long that lasts. But somehow, somewhere, somebody has a smoker someplace, and they'll be happy to sell pastrami's and briskets all around the country for an extremely high rate because somebody will want it. But that's really, some of these things are hard to believe, of how problems branch out. Pastrami. What's on this pastrami sandwich? I'm looking at a picture of this pastrami sandwich, right? This is where like a crime looks like it's being committed. Pastrami looks pretty good. The rye bread looks delicious. They don't have fries. They do have a pickle, but I'm seeing potato chips. Of course, like I said, no fries. And I'm seeing something white on top of the pastrami. Son of a bitch, somebody put mayonnaise on it. Who the hell puts mayonnaise on a pastrami sandwich? No wonder they're out of it. No wonder they got rid of it. It's probably a preventative measure. Oh, this is just bad. Certain things should be considered a crime. I was actually in Katz's Deli one night. This goes back a lot of years ago. Waiting my turn online, and there's some guy got to the line in his turn, and he ordered a hot pastrami with mayo. And everybody was turning around looking at it, even the guy slicing the sandwich. Mayonnaise on a pastrami? Jade's looking at me. Jade, do you put mayonnaise on pastrami? She's shaking. She doesn't have a voice for this. She's just shaking her head in disbelief. This is like pretty bad. Mayonnaise on pastrami. Oh. Now, you know, when you drink a wine, hard to swallow that one. I got to tell you, people. So yeah, so that's what's going on up in Rochester. It's tough to get a good sandwich anymore. Okay, what else? Oh, look at that. The time is going by. We're at the halfway mark. I don't know if anyone heard, Will Smith is producing a reboot of the series The Fresh Prince. This one's just called Bel-Air. He was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the big comedy of the 90s. This is the Fresh Prince, which is more of a dramatic tone. Will Smith is personally involved in producing it, so I'm pretty sure it'll be quality. I saw the trailer for it. Looks pretty decent. I'll give it a try. It's going to be on the NBC streaming network. Okay, reboot it. That's one of those things that you could reboot. I know, who am I to say these things? But this will become very obvious as to why I am saying that. Because, where is it? Where did I put it? There is a plan to reboot The Honeymooners. They say, but really not. It's in development at CBS. The Honeymooners. If you're too young to know, then it's Jackie Gleason played Ralph Cramden. Audrey Meadows played Alice Cramden. Art Carney played Ed Norton. Joyce Randolph played his wife Trixie. And yeah, they're going to try to reimagine the Honeymooners. And this is a mostly female-driven show. And it's, well, let me see, what happens when it says a marriage, what happens when a marriage has two heads of the household, which is pretty much what the synopsis says. Are they co-heads or no head at all? So this is what's going to be the theme of it. If they wanted to create a show with that concept, go for it. Go to it, knock yourselves out. Leave the thought of the Honeymooners out of it. There are certain projects, certain things that should be left alone, never to be touched. The Honeymooners is one of those shows. I don't even know that that show can get produced today, only because of the fact that at the time in the 1950s, you saw Ralph Cramden looking at Alice every now and then with his fist saying, bang, zoom, or one day, pow, right in the kisser. And it was always screaming. And today he would be called narcissistic, misogynistic, abusive, and all that. But really, they loved each other. And it was just a very, very funny show that still holds up today. Yes, like any other show in any time period, there is certain material that's dated. One is, this is in black and white. Secondly, what they're probably paying in rent would, in this apartment that looks like a tenement dump, would probably be going for like $3,500 right now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure of it. I think that it's supposedly taken there in Bensonhurst, supposedly, at 328 Chauncey Street. But at that time, they're paying next to no rent. He supposedly made $62 a week. And I took that number and I entered it into, I used Google as a reference as what that would be worth today. Ralph Cramden would be broke. I mean, it's just that was always the idea, that if they were real people in today's world with him working that job, he would be broke. He could not afford his rent. But the show itself was brilliant. Jackie Gleason had a very good concept going on. One is there were no laugh tracks yet, or if there were, he never used it. And when the line was delivered and the audience was laughing, he did not wait. He did not want anyone waiting for the laughs to die, because they would lose the momentum of the scene. So they would just go on with the show and the audience would catch up. And it always worked. It was always funny. And if there was, because they did it live and they filmed it live, if there was a mistake in the lines, it's part of the show. And again, create any new material you want, do anything you want, but don't use past brilliance to push you along, especially if you're not making the show and you're trying to make a remake of it, which is not possible. You could, but it wouldn't work. So I don't know what's going to be with the new show. I wish them luck. I would not even use the Honeymooners name. Certain things should not be touched, just as certain movies should not be touched. Certain songs should not be touched if possible, even though people cover everything. But there are certain songs where no matter who covers them, it just never really seems as good. But okay, someone is going to take a shot here. What else is going on in the world? Oh, this one I was laughing at. It's really not funny because, well, she got lucky it's not worse. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has tested positive for COVID-19. This happened the story's from yesterday. She was away, I guess, for the holidays in Florida at some no mask party outdoors. You see a video of her giving hugs. It was a good event, look, everybody looked like they were having a good time. And now she tested positive. Well, okay, if you're going to speak about people's rights and don't have to do this, don't have to do that, make sure make sure, make sure you don't get sick. Let's try it that way. So yeah, so she's with COVID. Not sure which strain. I'm not even sure that she's vaccinated. I really don't know. Maybe she is. I forgot. I really just forgot all about it. But okay, that's what's going on with her. Then again, we have an Omicron variant. So I was talking about this. I think I was talking about this last week, that the Omicron variant, yeah, I was, the Omicron variant is now supposed to help protect you supposedly against the Delta variant, which is very dangerous. And I don't know why, in that case, that's what's supposed to be. I don't know why people will be so afraid of the Omicron variant, especially if you have vaccinations and you have a booster shot. So I would think you'd want to get it. More than likely, I already had it, but okay, there you go. Then they have now the newest thing, the Delta Omicron, which is the Omicron Delta. Either way, it's a combination of the two. And the Omicron seems to be taking over the Delta variant. So there you go, Omicron. Yeah, well, that's just how it goes. What else is going on in the world? Sure, you thought I had a lot of important stuff to talk about today. The big men's fashion trend of 2022, dressing like a tween, TWEEN. You know what a tween is? Not quite a kid, not quite a man, you know. It says kidcore, a fad that sees adult men, and I'm looking at a picture of a guy well into his 40s, sees adult men conjure up their tween-age years with expressive of juvenile outfits that thrived during the pandemic, why this style is resonating, and how the strike of a somewhat age appropriate balance. Yeah, well, that's what's happening. Adults are dressing like kids. So picture what would be a tweenage years. Not quite an adult, not quite a kid, you know, teenage, 17, 16, 17. Yeah, okay. This is what is the new trend going on for guys. Not for me. It ain't me. Sorry, can't do it. Looks ridiculous. This guy in the picture looks ridiculous. He's too old to be dressing like this. It just doesn't make any sense, but we'll see what happens with that. At least it won't be happening with me. Exhausting, isn't it? Isn't it? I'm still checking on the YouTube page, seeing what's going on. This is we're working things out. I know somebody's going to be staring at us on Facebook, and hopefully someone will be finding us on YouTube. We have a couple of people checking it. And yes, you can always try doing this type of thing on your own. No, not from this location. See this location here? This is what you call podcast. When I go into a studio with headphones and a microphone, which I do have one, but headphones and a microphone, then it's a radio show. I even get to use my fake radio voice, which I do practice it every now and again because that's what I do. What else is behind me? Okay, we got the picture. We got that. That behind me on the wall is an old telephone my mother gave me over 30 years ago. I had it in my old apartment in Brooklyn Heights, and it has external bells. I don't even know if it still works. It's been hanging there forever. You want loud, like someone says, call me to make sure I get up? That thing is a fire bell. That is like 2 alarm bells on a box on the wall. But it's always been there. Now it just hangs up like a work of art. On top of the wall is a little sketch that a friend made for me years and years ago. Under that table is a bag of batteries. Sorry, a bag of batteries. I'm a battery freak nut, and I have to really work on this setup. But over here, 2 of my prized possessions, on what's over my right shoulder, on your left, is 2 old paddle rackets. I used to play paddleball all the time. So those are like former fighters, they hang up the gloves when they retire. I hung up my paddle rackets. But if there's a game to be had, I'm there. But that's my old paddle. What's this? I have to really, okay. Oh, I'm reading my own. I'm reading my own closed captioning, and it's not even reading me right. But okay, you get the idea of what I'm doing. Okay, back to the world. Baseball has a first. The New York Yankees name a woman to manage the minor league team. The club has hired Rachel Balkovec, 34 years old, to manage the low A, single A, Tampa Tarpons. Tampa Bay Tarpons, Tarpons, and that's according to whatever report. They have hired her. She was a softball catcher. She's been involved with baseball one way or another, mostly through school, went to school itself. She got her first position in pro ball with the St. Louis Cardinals as a minor league strength and conditioning coach in 2012. So clearly she's not a stranger to what goes on. I wish her luck. And if she has any talent at all, let the New York Mets hire her for the major leagues because they need all the help they can get. So that is what's going on in baseball. Good for the Yankees. Good for Rachel. I wish her well. See you next season. Yeah, look at these stories going like crazy. Like crazy. Anybody keeping up with that building? Anyone hear the story about the building in San Francisco? It's a luxury high-rise that's tilting 3 inches per year. That's according to the engineers report. The Millennium Tower in San Francisco continues to sink and is tilting 3 inches with 7.5 centimeters every year. One of their big concerns is if it leans too much, the electric and the power and the plumbing will fail. My concern is that if it leans too much, it'll fall over. But that's just me. It's 58 stories tall, has 419 apartments. And yeah, I mean, if I want to see a building lean, I'll go to Italy. But that's just me. Anyway, so yeah, they are trying to repair this problem before it comes tumbling down around them. Yeah, San Francisco is not a place for this. I gotta tell you, it really isn't. What else is going on? Oh, more entertainment. Yeah, Yellowstone has become a huge hit. Yeah, it is a huge hit, Yellowstone. And the producer is making 7 other series. Yeah, the producer of the show is making 7 other series. Kevin Costner is in Yellowstone. The producer, its creator is Taylor Sheridan. And yeah, they got a lot of other projects. I watched the prequel of it, 1883. That's on the Paramount Plus network, as is Yellowstone. I like 1883. It's Sam Elliott's in it, and a few others. It takes place, I guess, through the eyes of the main couple of the show, which is Tim McGraw and I can't even get the words out anymore. Faith Hill, through the eyes of their daughter, a 16-year-old girl, and she's the narrator and all that. And I like it. It's sort of like the going up the Oregon Trail. I guess it's like a better version of the old TV show Wagon Train. I mean, I'm glad to do it. I watch it every week. I like Paramount Plus. I get to watch all my Star Treks. I get to watch everything on there that I want. I don't need Netflix. And I really, years ago, I was telling people you no longer need to have cable because at that time there were only a few things to stream, and only a few networks, but you didn't need it if you didn't want it. Now, with everybody having their own streaming service, you can get rid of cable if you want and swap it for all the streaming sites, but you really wind up with a pretty big bill because you still have to pay for the Wi-Fi service, for the internet service in your house, and then you get to stream. And Paramount Plus is like $7 a month. ESPN Plus for sports is $7 a month, and bang, bang, bang down the list of all the places. You keep on adding sevens, and you have yourself a bill. But anyway, the show itself is good. I love westerns. Westerns are great. So I've never even really watched Yellowstone. So I really should catch up. It's a few seasons in. I really should catch up. Yeah. One day I'll wait for like a rainy day when I'm not feeling well. I'll just turn it on and keep on going. But this is their numbers are jumping through the roof. They're doing great with that show. Good for them. Wow. Okay, what else is going on here? Let's see. The dumbest story of the week, though I wouldn't have one. I always have a dumb story of the week, even though usually a lot of my stories aren't dumb. Last week I was telling you about the bridesmaid that was so hot in her dress, model that looks stunning, that the bride uninvited her to the wedding because she would be upstaged. Well, brides getting married, their heads aren't on too clear. That's why they go for fittings every 20 minutes. And they pick dresses that I don't know where they get where some of these dresses come from. But this one here in Australia, the bride to be is devised an unconventional way, it says, to prevent COVID-19 from ruining her big day. And that's because she's purposely trying to get it. She's looking to catch COVID now because her wedding's in 6 weeks. Yeah. Yeah, she has not had it as of yet. And of course, I can understand why she would not want this to, suddenly put an end to her wedding. But she is out there trying to actively catch this condition. I don't think she understands that it may not turn out the way you want. Yeah, her wedding's on February 5th. Okay. So it's not soon. Okay. So it's a month away. Okay. And I can't believe what I'm reading. I mean, this is just dumb. She's trying to catch COVID purposely. But then again, there are people who do it. When this all first started, people, parents were thinking of having, or adults were thinking of having COVID parties to get it out of the way. I think it's the stupidest thing I can imagine. And she's so sure that she'll catch the Omicron variant over the Delta strain. How does she know? Where is she getting this information from? I'm looking at a picture of this girl, attractive woman. I don't see a research book in her hand. I see a drink. I don't get it. I don't get what people are thinking about when they go through this. People are just dumb. Get your vaccine if you haven't got it. Get boosted if you haven't got it. Stay the hell away from everybody if you're so concerned. Don't go into bars and drink with your friends. And with any luck, you'll be at your wedding on the 5th. I mean, the only two people that have to be there is you and the groom. So just, do the right thing, do what you have to do, and don't look to make your life worse, because there are plenty of people who get COVID who are not up and around in 2 weeks. It's just a lot of them just, not everybody dies, but a lot of people are laid up for quite a while. I think this is one of the dumbest ideas I have ever heard of. I cannot believe people get this kind of stupid. But why should I even say that? Because I read about stupid all the time. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Anybody else have any stories they'd like to share on this stuff, and let us know what you think? Tell us anything you want. Again, so we are using YouTube. YouTube seems to give me more of a close-up on my camera, so I'm going to have to see if I can adjust the screen a little bit, because I don't like the close-up part of it. It's just a work in progress for us. Or that, I have to get to a studio. Yeah, so maybe I have to work on my lighting then. Well, to adjust the view. We will talk about that with the tech department or customer service. As I continue to talk for an hour telling the problem, then they'll transfer me to tech support. That's really what's going on. This hour has gone pretty fast. Welcome to my show. Hope you like what you've heard. Sometimes it's a little better than others. Sometimes, we trip and we do the best we can. Depends on what the world gives us to talk about. So I do like to talk about what's going on in the world. I did not hear too many great things going on in tech, because the Consumer Electronics Show is, it's that time of year. So all the big news is yet to come. That's why I tell people every Christmas, do not buy technology for gifts. Reason being is that Consumer Electronics Show comes out in January, and all the new stuff rolls out to the public in, say, like March, April. So always better to buy technology for people in spring if you want the newest, most updated things. And yes, I'm sipping my tea like a pro. Anyway, we have had an interesting time sitting here. I'm looking at the play. I'm looking at the scroll across. I'm looking at the closed captioning. Hopefully, if you can hear, you're with me. If you have problems hearing, you could read me. Unfortunately, closed captioning is not a perfect science, but we're doing it. And any comments you want to leave below, whether it's on the Facebook page for Upfront or on this page, feel free. If it's a question, I will address it on next week's show. If you write to me at upfrontfrank@gmail.com, I'll address it there. You can always email if you'd like to try doing your own show once in a while. You can always email Skies Crescent Radio. It's at skiescrescentradio@gmail.com. Jade Zabrick@gmail.com. Want to know about the train walkers? Trainwalkers@gmail.com. It's a very, very easy place, but go to their website anyway. That's the story. Okay. I thank everybody for tuning in. Let's see what we can do with the settings here and make it a little better for next time, because this is actually my first time broadcasting live anything on YouTube. I didn't trip over my tongue as much. I drank a little more tea and water than I might, but that works for me. And that's the story. I'm now going to go do the great dinner debate. I don't know what the hell it will be. It'll be something light, I assure you. I'm doing okay with weight and everything else, so I'll give updates on that next week. I like sharing that information. And that is the story. Okay, everybody, thank you for being here. I'll see all of you next time. Or as Mr. Spock would say,